Direct from the beautiful Inland Blue Studios, this is the Nerdlife Crisis podcast with your hosts, Chris Thayer, Steve Hale, and Ron Milts.
All right, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerdlife Crisis podcast. Here with your host today,
Chris Thayer,
Steve Hale,
and I'm Ron Milts. We're back.
What's up, fuckers?
It's been a while, so
yeah.
we've had some adventures since we last recorded a month ago. But we had made an effort to record multiple times, but I had a birthday on one of the nights, so we couldn't do that. And then
I got deported by ICE and had to sneak back through the tunnels.
I did another little hospital stay. It was a party.
Nice. What happened to your hospital stay there, Steve?
Well, it's funny you ask, Ron. It's funny that you ask. You just entered your 40s with us.
I'm there. Congratulations.
Just started my 40s. I think Chris here is getting to the end of his 40s.
He's almost at 50, right, Chris?
I'm not quite there, but I'm definitely on the back 9.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so I did a Tough Mudder race recently. It's about 10 miles and 25 obstacles, something like that. It was pretty strenuous. Did this on a Saturday, and I
on purpose.
On purpose, yeah. Paid $20.
Oh my God, you paid to do it too?
I had a coupon.
Nice.
Yeah.
We'd like to thank loyal listener Mike Jones for helping Steve out in this.
Thanks, buddy. That was
Mike.
awesome of you. So yeah, I thought I might have pulled something. Thought I might have strained something on Monday. I was feeling a little funny,
Describe funny.
Certain tingly.
Ha funny or
just kind of tingly in some certain spots,
Nice.
And come Tuesday, I wasn't really tingling anymore. It was kind of a little bit more painful. I said, "Fuck, man, I think I have a hemorrhoid."
Oh.
I literally go to CVS and I'm in the aisle and I say out loud, "Jesus Christ, when did I get so fucking old?" I'm almost in tears because I'm like, what should I get? Should I get Bengay? Should I get this other brand? I don't know. Because something's not right with my asshole, Yeah, it was awesome.
Straight to the pooper on
right?
this episode.
Yeah,
all
man.
right.
We're going, you asked, so I'll tell you.
No, I'm intrigued because I
Yeah.
haven't heard the whole story yet.
Yeah, so that was by Tuesday. So here I am in the bathroom putting the stuff on my asshole and I'm like, when is this supposed to start working? Because man, this ain't doing nothing, dude.
Wait, this is Tampico. Why do I have?
I mean, right now my asshole is minty fresh, but I'm still hurting. So I wake up Wednesday morning, and now I'm really hurting. I go see my doctor. Now, guys, I'm not, not used to dropping trowel and spreading my ass, letting somebody check out my asshole and then stick their finger up it. I'm just not used to this.
It's
right?
like his 9th asshole, by the way. I love it.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So he goes, "Yeah, it looks like you got a hemorrhoid there." Oh, okay, great. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a hot bath, and I want you to
light some candles. Put on some Barry Manilow.
Right. We're gonna make it.
I'll come in a robe.
So the pain after this visit seems to increase so much so that Thursday night at about 2:30 in the morning, I got up, found a 24-hour CVS. I bought one of every brand of their hemorrhoid cream on there.
You are not fucking
right?
around.
I'm mixing this stuff up. I'm gonna make a paste, and
It's a poultice.
I'm gonna spackle my asshole with a putty knife with this stuff, right? And I'm still hurting, man. Now I'm to the point where it doesn't matter if I'm laying on my side, on my back, standing, sitting. Man, my ass hurts, and I'm not talking about my butt cheek. All right, I'm not talking about
it's like more like the culo, like the little
right on it, man, right on it. Yeah, real awesome.
We'll have to put a warning on the front half of this episode.
So by Friday morning, now I'm going to the emergency room because I'm in this much pain. And they take a look and they go, "Oh yeah, it looks like you have a infected hemorrhoid." Well, what the fuck does that mean, man? Well, you need to have your primary call your a specialist and get you in today. Dude, they get a hold of the specialist and say, "Oh, we could see you in a month." A month?
I don't think so.
No.
Dude.
I'm gonna fucking die tonight. Anyways, I ended up back into the emergency room. Now I'm spreading my ass for these people, for the night crew. They take one look and they tell me that I have an abscess.
Oh wow.
That's a whole different thing.
It's a whole different thing. And
I've
they
had
said,
an abscess
this
before.
needs to be removed
right away.
tonight.
Yeah.
Man, they load me up with 2 shots of Dilaudid. Now, if you've ever had this shit, and I've had this before when I had my gallbladder removed, let me tell you, when they hit me on that shit, man, I felt no pain. I was fucking in a state of euphoria. I mean, just like, it was beautiful, right? You could have asked me anything, and I'd have fucking told you the truth, right?
And by the time the 5th crew came around to spread,
Right? Well, no, that's the best
And
part.
probe.
By the end of this weekend, and I'll remind you, we're on Friday night here, okay? This is my Friday night party. So they gave me 2 shots of this. They tell me I'm going to have surgery that night. I was in pain until I'm on the fucking, they're putting me on the table, and they put the mask on my face to put me under. I'm still in pain the entire time. Like going from the gurney onto the operating table, damn near killed me. I was just like screaming in pain, dude, from this fucking thing. And
did it like get like a golf ball or something?
yeah, by this point,
Oh,
yeah, I was pretty. Like basically, what brought me back to the emergency room was that I had to reach back there and I had to rub my own asshole.
had to play.
Yeah, and I said, I told my wife, I said, dude, this has gotten bigger. It's gotten worse, and I'm really in a lot of pain. This is not a hemorrhoid, man.
Right.
Plus, I'm online.
It's a
I'm
quado.
reading people's like descriptions of hemorrhoids, and I'm like,
Right. This is not it.
no, dude. These people are still like living life. I'm like, I'm fucking down for the count, dude. I'm fucking down.
You're like the commercials that I see late night when I'm watching like Law and Order or something on Ion, and it's like, do you suffer from excruciating hemorrhoid pain?
Holy shit,
You
dude!
need some triptolodid.
This is like somebody put a hot coal in my asshole, man. I mean,
Wow.
I didn't even want to pee, dude. I was like,
Just in case.
It hurts my asshole to piss. I was like, I'm like an old man.
Did you have a thought for like a half a second? You're like, there might be an alien growing in here, and I'm
Well-
not gonna have a chest burster. I'm gonna have an ass
Listen,
burster.
when I was in the emergency room, because now they've shot me up, so I am high,
Right.
but I'm still hurting, but I am high. So now I'm telling the nurses and the fucking and the what have yous that I've got an ass goblin. Now they've never heard talk like this apparently because they thought it was the funniest. Looks
Dude,
over,
they're
and goes,
still
"Did he
talking
just call
about
it?
you right
Did
now."
he just call it an ass goblin?" It's like,
Dude.
so yeah. So and the surgeon was super fucking cool. By this point, man, I'm showing everybody my asshole too.
All right.
Which skip ahead after all is said and done.
Okay.
Right? I wake up. I'm still a little sore, but I'm not in pain. I'm in there Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Let me tell you, by Monday morning, if you were the cleaning lady, I just rolled over and I just spread my ass just so, I didn't even care anymore. Because every time somebody came in, they're looking at my asshole.
Right.
I'm like, I don't even know if they work here. You know what I mean?
You think like the neighbor had visitors?
I was like, this guy had both his fucking hands on my shoulders, No, I'm just kidding. The look
I
on
was like,
Chris's-
wait, what?
the look on Chris's face right there was fucking priceless. So yeah, that's what kind of prevented me
Say,
from.
what kind of coverage you got? I mean,
Yeah,
that's-
right.
Well, that was Wondercon weekend too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which we'll get into in a few minutes here, but yeah.
So that was my awesome weekend while you guys were having a good time at WonderCon.
Yeah, and what a great segue. We'll segue right to
Right,
WonderCon to
right.
start with. So, WonderCon happened a few weeks ago, and then Monsterpalooza as well, which we're also going to talk about.
Yes.
And Star Wars Celebration. Man, it's like we are in that time
This
of
is
year.
the season.
Tis the
Oh,
season
boy, I tell ya.
to go do stuff. So, yeah, man, we had a great weekend at WonderCon. We ended up location-wise because they're
my
back in
God.
Anaheim,
Yes.
and they've expanded the Anaheim Convention Center.
Oh.
So, and it is much larger than it was before.
Right.
And this WonderCon felt like Comic-Con like about 15 years ago, where it wasn't so much about movies and video games. Like, it was definitely about comic
a
books.
lot of comics.
And
That's
a
exciting.
lot of fucking comic books. And a lot of interesting stuff, too.
Right.
And we ended up, luckily, like, our little booth was on an island on a corner. We were right next to the 501st.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of people coming up and asking about you over the weekend.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
As though we were like the doctors, and
Right.
I checked on him earlier. He's,
Well, after this, I went to Monsterpalooza the next weekend, which let me tell you, I was the whole weekend having to tell that story
Of course.
Again,
and again. And I just like, hey, you just want to see my asshole? I'm used to it.
You should have just put it on like a 3x5 card like deaf people do when they go out to eat, and just like hand it to people. There you go.
I have had the urge since to like get on my back and throw my legs in the air with the mirror and just check my asshole out from time to time, make sure everything is going
Just
okay.
daily.
Just
just have you guys seen it was like the second part to Knocked Up? It's called This is 40.
Yeah.
Remember that? Paul Rudd in that, he was checking his asshole out. Like,
Right.
do I have a hemorrhoid? That's what I feel now. I'm like, oh fuck, dude, I've become that person. Me and that wife are that couple.
I had that same thing happen on my head.
You had a hemorrhoid on your head?
No, I had an abscess.
Where
on
have
the
you
back
been
of my
putting your
head.
head?
Oh fuck!
So I had
yeah.
a little lump that had been back there for years, and it was one of those things where I just thought I had like a lump, and then all of a sudden it was like I was sitting there and it was the same thing, and I went to the hospital the first time and they were like, literally they're like, oh, you have like a small an infection,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, oh, okay, and then 24 hours later that little infection that was started out like a peanut size was like a fucking baseball on the back of my neck. And
Jesus.
I had to go in for emergency surgery. They lanced that thing, and it was like a water balloon popping.
See, I was out.
Oh,
they were
no.
like, you need to be out for this. I was like, I need to be out for this. Yeah.
Well, I think that was a little more delicate because
Yeah.
they were what they were dealing with. But for me, so that was the first day before, or that was the day before my first day of college. So my first day of college, I was like the kid from like fucking 16 Candles with the neck brace, but I had
Right.
like all of this gauze like wrapped
Right.
around my head. Like I looked like half of the Mummy, but not the good half, So, but yeah, and they shaved my head, and then I have a permanent little scar back there as well that my barber
Like I said,
always
I
fights
went for a
with.
fucking run in a race.
Yeah.
One day to fucking like I'm in the goddamn hospital.
Yeah,
like, what the
right.
fuck is this all about?
Yeah,
dude?
that went south real fast.
Yeah,
sure.
totally.
So anyway, we were at WonderCon. WonderCon went great. We had a fantastic. And for our loyal listeners out there, we will tell you we had our best day ever the day before WonderCon, and so much so that Chris and I were like, something crazy is happening right now. So, and we want to thank you guys. We're super excited, but it was like we hit 1,800 individual listeners in a day, which is our best download day ever.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Thousands
Appreciate
of
it.
people literally listening to this podcast, and we appreciate
On
it.
a single day.
On a single day. And then post WonderCon, we've had another nice bump. So
Yeah.
it's like everything's someday, hey, we might actually work this into something where we
Yeah.
make money at some point.
Like a
Who knows?
sponsor.
Right? Who knows? So
Yeah, Well, one of the cool things about WonderCon this year is we're used to being crammed in the middle of the aisle, and we had a
Yeah.
corner, and then right next to us there was this space, and then a pole, so there wasn't enough room for another
More
table.
like a pillar as opposed to a pole.
Yeah. There was a big like concrete pillar, so there was probably 5 feet between
No, it was
us.
like 8.
Yeah.
8 feet to our right, unoccupied, Steve, and we just
Day 2.
We expanded.
Yeah, dude. We had like actual exhibitor booth size space at that point.
Yeah, and it was we were on the corner as well, and it worked out great, man. We had a lot of fun, a lot of good feedback, a lot of new listeners, and we love our new listeners. But and we got to see some new books, got to see some new interesting things, meet some new artists. Did you pick up any new books while you were there?
I don't think I had a chance to get away from the table because we were hopping
We
so
were
much.
definitely busy. Like
I
we
really
definitely
didn't get much time.
a lot of shirts, a lot of comic books. It was a good time, man. A good time had by all. So, but
That was our most successful weekend.
yeah, for sure. And you know what? And it's like, as far as the book goes, for those of you guys that are interested, or the company goes, Inland Blue Comics, we just opened up our 3rd issue of Grace. Is now available. Issue 4 is going to the printer soon. We've got Princess Rosalie.
3 is done,
Yeah.
and the coloring book are both done. They just need to go to the printers.
Yeah, we got some exciting new stuff coming down the line as well.
Yes,
so,
we do. Some
yeah.
really talented folk.
For our fan out there that made the meme of me, Ron, do you?
Dean, his name is
Dean. I'm sorry, I was trying to find it on here. And
Yeah.
Chris posts 30 things a fucking day, so I'm trying to.
It's all
filter
about
through this.
content, man. You got to
Right.
have more content.
So hey, Dean, that was a funny meme. I appreciate it. It was my wife. My wife enjoyed it.
Well, the best thing is that because Dean also was the one that when he came to the signing night for the comic book, he brought the Live More pop thing toy. And so Chris was like on a mission to find one, and he fucking found one. We were at WonderCon.
You know what's funny is I was looking the first day because I was going to buy one. I'm like, this would be the funniest shit if I come back with this stupid ass pop thing. And the guys, I finally found one because everybody was buying them up because I guess they're rare. And who brings that many of these things? So I'm like, I found one. I'm like, oh, how much is it? $30. All right, ain't that fucking funny? I'm out of here. So I just happened to be going past another booth, and they had it for like 11. I'm like, okay, it's 11 funny. It ain't $30 funny.
All right.
So I found one.
The people out there who collect pops,
I don't get that shit.
you're a
dude.
dumbass. I'm sorry. Listen, it's Beanie Babies.
It
it's
is.
fucking.
It is.
It's Cabbage Patch Dolls, man. It's junk.
Yeah.
It's crap. It's got really no collectability to it.
It's weird as well.
They're fucking dog chew toys, dude.
Pretty
That's
much.
kind of what they are.
Yeah, it's crap. And get a real fucking collectible. You know what? Take that money, go get yourself a Sideshow or a Gentle Giant or something cool, man.
Yeah.
That's crap. You have a wall of garbage. All right? You've been sold a lie. A lie. Flip that crap while you can, make a few bucks, and go get a real collectible. Be a real goddamn fan.
I agree with that.
Fuck, man. That stuff makes me ill.
Nice, man.
When I see that line when we're at Comic-Con, I'm like, are you fucking people for real?
And you ask them, you're
Right.
like, what are you in line for? And they're like, exclusive pop toys. And
Yes.
you're like
You're an exclusive dumbass.
Like
That's-
what exclusive? And they're like, oh, they've got the alternate Harry Potter pop, but it's Harry in year 7 as opposed to the pop which is currently Harry in year 4. And I'm like, I don't care. It's all looks the same and goofy.
It's garbage. Yeah.
There's a lot of collectibles that I don't get where I'm like, and it's like to me it's like
Well, it's like
goggles.
when they did
I
those
don't get it.
reactive, like retro action figures. I'm like, they all look like the 70s, And I'm
Right.
like, listen,
We suffered through that already.
right? We've made great strides in technology
Right.
to get us to this point, dude.
Find a toy with more articulation, please.
God damn,
If
man.
you can't have conversational stormtroopers, what is the point of collecting?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you. So, Steve, you went to Monsterpalooza. Tell us about how that goes.
Monsterpalooza. Oh, man. Well, let me start off by telling you people this. All you freaking convention noobs, get your tickets online, okay?
Right.
The days of getting tickets at the show are fucking over, right? Don't waste your time. Get the ticket ahead of time. This show was sold out.
It was
It's the
completely
first-
sold out?
Completely sold out. It's
Wow.
the first time since I started going to Monsterpalooza that this show was sold out, man. It's crazy.
Do you feel like Son of Monsterpalooza is going to be big like that too?
Oh man, I don't know. We'll have to see. Normally, Son of Monsterpalooza, it is a little bit smaller, and they rehash a lot of the stuff from the Monsterpalooza show. They kind of show it again at Son of.
Well, dude, WonderCon was sold out too.
Yeah.
And usually Saturday WonderCon was sold out. And they changed the hours. This year it opened at noon on Friday.
Uh-huh.
So they went noon to 7 on Friday.
Yeah.
So noon to 7 on Friday,
Yeah.
9 to 7 on Saturday, and 10 to 5 on Sunday. And I was like, the first year we did WonderCon in Anaheim, it was like dead until 4 o'clock, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was
Right.
like they opened, and it was like, there ain't nobody here. This place is empty. We were hopping by 1 o'clock on
Yeah.
Friday, and I was like, what is happening? Like, I didn't expect this to be busy at all, you know,
Right.
for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And it was insane. And then Saturday, it was like packed. I was shocked at how packed it was.
I went to Monsterpalooza all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it was shoulder to shoulder all 3 days. We saw the great Rick Baker was there on Friday evening.
Get him to sign something else for you?
No, but I could have, because I helped a few of my friends set up their booths and whatnot, so I kind of have early access, and he was in there, and people were coming up to him and hitting him up for pictures and autographs, and I was like, well, I've already been that guy, so
Remember the,
let somebody else have a turn.
The guy from True Blood that was the Mexican spiritual guy.
Right.
That was the black guy's boyfriend. And then
Okay,
he,
yeah.
The last
Brujo.
2 seasons.
The
Yeah.
Brujo. No,
Yeah.
he wasn't the last 2. He was like the middle 2. That guy, he came by our booth.
Oh,
on,
yeah? Yeah,
So
that's
him
cool.
and his kid, and then
You know he's on Lucifer now. So
See, I'm not in the new.
The show's great, dude.
Yeah,
You gotta check that one
I
out.
watched the first season. What are they on the second or third now?
Oh yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
it's pretty.
Yeah,
good.
it is pretty. It is pretty good.
He's
I
great.
did, yeah, I did
the
enjoy
guy
the
plays
show.
Lucifer.
Yeah.
But this dude, it's Kevin something. I totally blanked on his name. Totally nice guy.
Yeah.
And actually, he came up to the table, and his kid was there looking at our stuff.
and we were just chatting with him.
I didn't
even
realize who he
recognize
was
him.
until he walked away.
Right.
And then he came back, and I'm like, okay, I watched this show with my kid. She'll like totally trip if I get a picture with him.
Yeah, that's
I don't usually do that shit.
Not at all.
Like you know, you guys listen. No, I'm not the kind of guy who will wait in line to meet somebody, and I
See,
really
I don't
won't
mind
bug 'em.
that so much.
I just
because,
don't do it. I
like,
always feel
Robert
lame.
Englund was there, and he had a massive line.
Oh, yeah.
massive. And so was Kane Hodder, who he's played Jason. Out of all the Friday the 13th movies, he did Jason. Like most of them were just one guy, one time. It was no big deal. Kane Hodder played Jason about 3 or 4 times, I believe. This guy has been on the convention circuit since like 2000,
Right.
99 or 2000, right?
Every convention.
He had a line of
is that
people.
possible?
I
That's
was
Luke
like,
Ferrigno,
holy
dude.
crap, right?
That's
But
the guy
even,
from
even
Battlestar.
even the guys on the floor, like, you know, because sometimes
he's
with these
dead,
shows,
so.
with a lot of people, you know, when they have celebrities like that, people are spending money on them,
Right.
and they're not spending money on, you know, the dealers inside. Everybody that I talked to had a really good weekend. Even my buddy Don England from Michigan comes out to Monsterpalooza. He said this was his best year ever, and that was awesome. Because you know these guys at Monsterpalooza, they're the ones like I've talked about before. These are the guys who come up with these monsters and aliens that you see there. These are the guys who are actually putting in real work, you know. And you could see their stuff. Like you're like, hey, I just did this movie. Like I just worked on Star Trek Beyond, but here's my booth, and here's stuff that you can purchase for yourself. You know,
Right.
Very cool.
Very
cool.
very cool. You know,
I definitely feel
awesome
like
weekend.
it's kind of funny because like with Comic-Con being so like, you know,
corporate.
well, not more so than corporate, and we love Comic-Con because they're the people
Yes.
that produce WonderCon. So I would never
Right,
say a mean
right,
thing about
right,
them.
right.
But the idea behind that con is so essentially like it's like you're showing me what's coming down the pipe, you know, as opposed to, but it's all big corporate stuff, you know. It's focused on The Walking Dead. It's focused on WB. It's focused on Fox, CW, things like that. It was like refreshing to go to WonderCon and not have it be that. To have it be like
here's the thing, not
Right.
here it's coming. Here's the thing.
yeah. And it's like I feel like Monsterpalooza, from what you're saying, it's more of that same where it's like, look, I'm a creator and I'm out here creating, you know, and here is the opportunity for you to see what I'm creating, you know, and you can purchase what I'm creating, you know, as opposed to, you know, it's like you go to the Mattel booth every year and they're like, this is what's coming in stores in 6 months. And you're like, cool, I can't buy any of this right now though. Right. You know,
right.
That's a trade show, not a
Yeah.
convention.
Yeah.
You know, because that's really
And trade shows are painful because you're like,
Yeah.
I want to buy this,
right.
and I can't buy anything.
That's NAMM.
Yeah,
NAMM is the same way.
yeah, yeah.
Because you can't buy that stuff unless you're a dealer,
Right.
you know, with a store.
Yeah.
And you're putting in an order for that shit to come to you later.
Right. Well, on a Saturday night, they along with your ticket for the day, they had an after party, and it wasn't like a huge thing. It was a decent size. It was very intimate, but they did a lifetime achievement award for V. Neal, and if you don't know who V. Neal is, please look her up. Okay, she has been in the industry, and she has made characters. You know, from The Lost Boys to Beetlejuice to everything you've ever seen with Pee Wee Herman. You know, she's worked on all of Tim Burton's movies, Batman. You know, to I think Planet of the Apes. I mean, and she's working today. Good. And the award was presented by Paul Rubens, so that was pretty cool to see Pee Wee Herman up there. I was not expecting that.
Was there a bunch of jackasses doing Pee Wee imitations?
Oh, they're such a bunch of basic fucking bros. Like, we get it, dude.
And you're like,
I
shut
wanted
up.
to fucking smack every one of them, dude.
So this was V. Neal.
Yep, V. Neal had a lifetime
great in
achievement.
Motley Crue.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, I don't know where to go from that one.
That was a terrible joke.
Hey, I was holding on to it. I overshot. What?
Is that what it was?
I overshot.
It was
forced.
It felt like you
But-
were, yeah.
If you missed Monsterpalooza, go to Son of Monsterpalooza in September. Look it up online. Get your tickets ahead of time, and you can go see some of the cool stuff that they had at this last show. It's definitely worth the museum that they set up
Was worth it alone.
is worth the $25 alone. You know,
I've been threatening to go to Monsterpalooza, but I'm always working that weekend. So.
there's another show that comes in the summer called Scare LA. I swear to God, I miss this show every year because I have something
In your ass.
monumentally more important that I have to do. It's like a wedding,
Right.
and it's not like a wedding for an acquaintance. It's like a wedding for somebody I've known for 30 years.
Right.
Gotta fucking go, you know.
Right.
So,
Well, as we talk about 2 conventions that we actually went to, let's talk about a 3rd convention that none of us got to go to, but I'm sure we watched all got to see part of it online this weekend, which is Star Wars Celebration.
I didn't
yes.
watch a second of it.
You didn't see any of it?
see
Really,
any of it.
man, I was watching.
I was pretty much glued. So
I-
to
I-
the
I was too
I
busy
even let
watching The Force Awakens.
I let the boss know. I was like, listen, I got some important shit I need to watch on my phone. Okay,
like
it's
don't
Star
bother me.
Wars related. And he's like, I'm watching it on mine in my office. So I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I mean, Steve, we went to Celebration when it was in
Celebration
Anaheim,
Anaheim, yes,
which was
2
fantastic.
years ago, phenomenal.
and then this was now. Where are they? Do you know where they're planning on doing it next?
No, they have not announced. I think it's going to be
Do you think it's just gonna hip hop between coasts?
what is the capital of North Korea again? Pyongyang.
You think so?
I think so.
Well,
I think it's a good chance.
Well, especially because most
I know they're bidding
America
for
will
it.
be gone,
You
right?
know, they're bidding for it. And I figure, if we're over there, South Korea, they can make a lot of cool toys, real
Nice.
cheap, So
Nice. No, but anyways,
they did not announce, and let me tell you, the Star Wars nerds are going fucking crazy about this because they normally Sunday, it's the last thing they say
Right.
is, "Hey, we'll see you in, wherever in a year or 2 years."
Now,
They
wasn't
did
it-
say that the next one will be in 2019. They just didn't say where.
Well, wasn't the last one in? There was one in England.
They do, yeah. Celebration Europe. Basically, it was
was
the way it was going
Anaheim,
was Anaheim, Europe, Orlando, and even before that, it went Orlando, Europe, Anaheim, then Europe again,
Sounds
and
like
Orlando.
Sounds like Anaheim we should be back in Anaheim next year or in 19. so,
2019.
yeah,
So
every 2 years seems about right.
yeah,
I'll go this time.
Dude, this was great.
I feel like I
had
missed
an
out.
absolute
yeah.
blast.
I mean, it was cool.
I mean, one day, but
With the pictures that I saw of Orlando, I was kind of like, well, I've kind of already seen this crap before.
Well, it did have some similarities to what we saw in Anaheim.
Yeah, and I personally am not. I'm not impressed by costumes anymore because I'll see those same costumes next week at the Rancho Cucamonga Library at Victoria Gardens. So,
Yeah.
not a lie.
I'm just jaded. But
Although I will say this at WonderCon, a lot of representation from Rogue One.
yeah.
And a lot of representation from Force Awakens.
yeah.
Like, Rey was really popular. There was
Yeah.
like a lot of the females wearing Rey.
Hey, you see the dolls at Target?
Well, I didn't,
And
but
the
I know
action
you
figures.
did.
Well, I happened to
Just happened to be searching
to
for
go
that.
Actually, I happened to notice a big end cap full of Wonder Woman.
Right.
And I thought of you.
I would really like to know if people are buying them because you
I'm
know what, they
curious
complained.
myself.
They're there. Buy the
Exactly.
shit. You know,
Exactly.
put your money where your mouth
It's
is.
still
People don't
what I
actually-
maintain is like they produce it, and if you don't buy it, they're not going to fucking do it again.
Exactly.
So
It's been quite a while since they stopped producing that stuff, so we'll see what happens.
My favorite WonderCon Rogue One outfit was somebody was a rebel trooper with the white dome hat.
Yeah.
And they had a lightsaber permanently glued to
Through 'em?
it went through their chest.
Yeah.
They were walking around. I almost fell out of my chair laughing. It was so good.
I saw a video in Orlando. they reenacted the scene. Did you see it?
At the credit card machine?
Yeah.
That's fucking brilliant. So it's like the
awesome.
troopers at the credit card machine, and he like pulls it out. And so there's like a group of them, and he's like, go, go, go. And then so like one guy starts running, and so like the GoPro's following him. And in the distance, you see Darth Vader like cutting people down.
Yeah.
And they're running through the convention floor, and they get all the way to like a set of glass doors. And there's troopers on the other side with the Princess Leia there, and they're like trying to get it through. And they like hands back to Darth Vader, and it comes back, and he's all, go, go, go. And so,
It is definitely one of the things that the 501st and the Rebel Legion like to do at Celebration.
Yeah.
They'll do what they call the running of the wood rows. Remember in Empire Strikes Back when they're
Yes.
evacuating, and the black guy comes running by and
With
he's
the ice cream maker?
His ice cream maker. So what they do now is they reenact that.
How funny.
But they all wear like goofy wigs and shit now and mustaches and they all have those fucking ice cream makers and these orange jumpsuits, man.
running of the Woodrows.
Fuck yeah, they get like Celebration, man. It looked like they had fucking 75 or 100 of them, dude.
Well,
That's cool.
I mean, like, let's
That's
be honest.
Rocky Horror.
I've done a Tusken Raider thing at Wondercon before, and we all had to walk in single file because
Right.
that's the number one thing that everybody says to us
Right.
is, they hide their numbers. And
Right.
yeah, we got you.
I would assume that number one, they'd be going, so. But yeah, man, I was like Steve, glued to my computer watching panels. For,
The tribute to Carrie Fisher was excellent.
yes, and the Last Jedi panel was fantastic
Yes.
as well. It was, and I mean, now we've all obviously seen the teaser at this point, right?
Yes.
So reactions, Chris, what was your reaction to the teaser?
I didn't get goosebumps or anything. I mean,
Yeah, neither did I.
it was kind of like, I feel like I've seen this.
Well, here's the first thing I said was at least it's not. I don't see any Death Stars in this one.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as you know.
Well, my only thing was I did see some Imperial walkers, and I
Right.
did see what looks like. If I swear to God, if they take down a single one of those fucking things with a tow cable, I'm gonna get up and walk out. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
If
they don't have to now.
If somebody says that armor's too strong for blasters, use the tow
Right.
cables.
I mean,
I'm leaving the fucking building.
Is this one going to be, is the what's the new bad guys called again?
Snoke?
No,
Or no, the First Order.
the First Order. Yeah,
The
I
First
think
Order Strikes Back? Is that
yeah,
right? Yeah.
right. You know what? If they give me some bounty hunters,
You're fine.
I won't complain.
Well, I feel
Mark
like
my words.
As long as while I'm watching it, I don't get the same story beats that I was getting in Empire. Like, tell your own story, please, for the love of all that's good. Now, I did like that shot with the salt flats with those fighters. Like,
Right.
that was pretty dope.
kinda cool.
I think that we are getting to the point where we are going to end the Skywalker Solo storyline. We're done.
You think so?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know what their plans are after 9. I don't know if Luke survives this trilogy, but I mean, I'll be bitter if he doesn't survive this movie. So.
I think that
I
they
think
are
he's gone.
done and they are ready to move on with new characters and new stories. Yeah.
Well, I heard they're gonna be ready to announce the 2020 anthology film soon. So they said by summer.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I mean, because the Han Solo one's the next one, which I mean, I'm sure it'll be great. The guys that are directing it are the dudes that did the Lego movie, and they're Chris Lord and I forget the other guy's name.
I don't get that Lego movie crap or whatever.
Did you see the Lego Batman movie?
No.
Holy shit, that was great, dude.
Yeah.
That is the best Batman movie that's ever been put on film.
Really?
I'm not even joking.
Wow.
Like it's look, the Christian Bale Batman movies are fantastic, but they're also very like dark and gritty.
That's what I like though.
Yeah, but they're fucking humorless to the point of like it's like dour. Like when you rewatch them, I like feel like I need to like light a candle and sit down with a bourbon and fucking like read a dark tome of something before I start. Like it's fucking humorless as humor gets.
He likes fucking Jim Carrey as the fucking Riddler. That's
Right.
what he likes.
Right.
Actually, I do not dislike Jim Carrey as the Riddler.
I
cannot.
think
Oh
Jim
my
Carrey
God.
did a good job as the Riddler.
I can't
personally.
stand the
Tommy Lee
Two-Face
Jones.
in that.
Oh,
It's like such
terrible.
such a ugly
In
ripoff
fact,
of Joker.
Jim Carrey was the only thing good about that movie.
I like Val Kilmer. He was fine. And his elbow. It was fantastic.
I still
No.
want my wife to dress up like Uma Thurman
Oh,
as
yeah.
Poison Ivy though.
I think she could rock that.
Yeah.
I like that. But no, man. So the Lego Batman movie, if you get a chance, fantastic, and it's like kind of brilliant. And because I know you're not going to watch it, and spoiler alert, but they send Joker to the not the negative zone, that's Marvel, to
Phantom Zone?
the Phantom Zone, where they fucking have Zod trapped.
Okay.
Because in Joker, it's literally this thing where Joker's like, Batman's like, you're not my greatest villain. He goes, no, I totally am. He's all, Superman's my greatest villain, you know? And he's like, no, but we complete each other. And he's like, no. And so he shoots him to the Phantom Zone after Joker pulls off this huge elaborate heist. And so when Joker gets there in the Phantom Zone, it's filled with all of these people that have been pushed there. But it's like all these WB properties. So it's like Sauron, fucking Godzilla. It's like all of these big WB properties at Voldemort. So so Joker comes back to Gotham with the help of all of these WB properties, and basically it's all of Batman's rogue galleries, all of the Bat people fighting against Joker and all the evil WB properties. It's fucking brilliant.
All right.
Like watching it, you're like, I never knew I wanted this in a Batman film, but it works so well. So, but yeah, and it's funny as shit. So, like a little humor in my Batman. So
they're the ones who are going to be doing the Han Solo movie.
they're doing the Han Solo movie, and they did a little like sneak peek the other day where they showed you like some animatronic stuff. You know,
I read a thing where Del Toro pitched the idea of doing a Jabba the Hutt gangster movie.
dude, that'd be dope.
It would be dope, but fuck, you know how Del Toro like
He's a
pitches
slug,
shit.
dude. Why do we care about Jabba?
God damn, Chris. Every time,
Like I don't know how I feel.
Why?
like every time I come around to like, oh, he's not so bad. You say some
I don't
fucking
get it,
crap
dude.
like that, dude.
Jabba's weak, dude.
No, well, I mean,
If
you
you're-
could do some really cool shit because obviously if it's gonna be gangster stuff, you're gonna have bounty hunters, and like
that's
I'm
the
in.
only
And that
saving
gives me,
grace.
it gives me a fucking goddamn boner, dude. What can I
Yeah.
say? I love that crap.
That's all
dude.
good, but I mean, dude,
He's
that
like-
was like my least
He's like,
favorite
fuck-
thing. I like Jar Jar better than Jabba the Hutt. I don't get Jabba.
I can't get behind you on that one, dude.
Holy fucking
And,
shit.
dude, he's a fucking slug. I don't get it.
Senator
dude.
Binks is a wonderful, wonderful being and all, but I really I like not better than Jabba.
Like everybody else in Jabba's crib, I can sort of get behind even the pig guys, but
You can't get behind Jabba the Hutt.
I don't
They're
dig
fucking called
Jabba, dude.
Gamorrean guards, dude.
I know what they are. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well,
It's like fucking my dad sitting over here fucking talking about. Actually, I take that back. My dad fucking knows more
The
than you
Gamorrean
do now.
guards, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I owned those actually when I was a kid. The Gamorrean guards.
and when you can't forget about Bugface and
Dude, the whole
Bandage Man.
intergalactic gangster, he's fucking he's like, oh, you're gonna give me shit here? I'm gonna drop you in a fucking pit, get eaten by this
Right?
thing, man.
How's he gonna do anything?
He's gonna drop
He doesn't
you-
even have like arm.
Oh, and Steve.
He doesn't have to. But see, that's the best thing. He doesn't have to, man.
If they make a practical Jabba the Hutt or a Jabba the Hutt movie, they could use your butthole as a practical
Yes.
Right.
for the Sarlacc pit. It'd be
The silver anal lining right there.
Oh, that would have been a great picture if I could have got a couple of Star Wars figures around my butthole right before they did the surgery. That would have been my new profile pic,
if you would have just stuck the Lando Calrissian one, just his head in your butt.
right?
That would have been great. That would have been great.
But no, man. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the Han Solo
I mean,
movie.
listen.
but Celebration.
I'm cool with the Han movie.
Listen,
It'll be fun.
I'm excited about the movie.
It'll be Ant-Man.
Am I counting the days? I'm not, dude. I'm just
For
not.
Last Jedi, you're not, or Han Solo?
No, dude. Any of them, man. Like I said, we talked about this a couple months ago. Man, I'm on fucking Star Wars saturation, dude.
It's
I
not
mean,
special anymore.
one of the things that was so exciting about when they were coming out with
7.
7 was that we hadn't seen a fucking Star Wars movie in so many years, and I've just been,
2005, yeah.
and I've just been watching
82.
animated series and stuff like that.
You know what? Also, I think like I kind of feel like as much as I loved Rogue One, like the anthology movies are one step too far. It's like only in that
Well, Rogue One isn't really outside of the story, though.
it is though. It's none
Not
of them.
really.
I mean, I get what you're saying.
It's bit players in the same story.
But because it's literally only been 4 months since we went to the movies and saw a fantastic Star Wars movie,
Right.
like I'm not aching for one, Like
Right.
I am aching to see Luke Skywalker actually speak on screen.
right.
Like I do want to see that, and I am intrigued by the continuation of Episode 7. Like I want to see that continuing storyline. But like the Han Solo movie, like I am not excited about that at all.
I couldn't care.
Like
Yeah.
But I wasn't excited about Rogue One, and then I saw Rogue One, and here's the thing.
See, I was excited.
I was
about Rogue
digging
One.
Rogue One.
Yeah,
I
but
was
we
cool
talked
for
about
that.
this on the podcast. Like, I had reservations about it because I was like, man, I felt, they dropped the ball a little bit on episode 7, and then it's like I didn't want them. And then Rogue One, the more I watch Rogue One, the more it's becoming one of my favorite of the Star Wars saga.
Right.
Like, out of all
It's a
the
solid
fucking
movie.
movies, it's so fun, dude.
It's
Yeah.
solid.
And it's like the last 45 minutes of it are fantastic. So, but and so much so that it like triggered me to go back and watch Rebels season 3.
Right.
So I'm like rewatching.
I
Season
hear they're going
3.
to make season 4, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah, they announced that at
they're done.
Celebration, and they officially have turned Rex into the guy with the beard from fucking Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
So the Rebel command. There's one Rebel.
Oh, you
commando.
mean one of the Rebel commanders?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Well, one of the commandos that goes down to Endor has this big ass bushy white beard, and he's like
Right.
super tan. And so they have retconned it into that is Rex from he's a clone trooper essentially.
Oh.
So Rex is from the Clone Wars, and then he's been on Rebels, as an older clone. And then so we know he lives till Return of the Jedi, which makes me happy.
Yeah.
So since he's my absolute one of my favorites,
Huh.
I'm just curious because we haven't seen Ahsoka, so.
Right.
But they did at the end of season 3. They did the Darth Maul Obi-Wan battle on Tatooine. So like it happened pretty quick. I will say that Darth Maul went down like a bitch. But it was interesting, the fact that we got around back to that. So the storyline took us there naturally as well.
Yeah, they've had to wrap up a lot of loose ends.
Yeah.
Did you see the unfinished version of Boba versus Cad Bane?
I did not.
Ooh.
They showed that at Celebration, didn't
They
they?
did, man. Really cool. Get to
I
find out how Boba gets his dent in his helmet.
Was it from Cad?
Yep.
Nice.
They have a showdown at the OK Corral, so to speak.
Nice.
Yeah.
No, wait. How long between that and Empire?
I'm sorry.
How long? What's the span of time between that and Empire?
No,
Years.
this was unfinished stuff from the Clone Wars cartoon series.
Okay.
Boba, like Ahsoka, you watch him grow up
Right.
throughout the Clone Wars.
Right.
So this would have been, by this point, the Clone Wars were supposed to be about. He would have been about a teenager
Okay.
Maybe like 16?
at this point. Yeah, maybe a little bit
He was like
older or
10.
something.
He was 10 in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
So
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 motherfucker spends 10 years with a dent in his helmet. He's got lasers and spaceships and can't fix a dent.
dude, that Mandalore armor is like special made, dude.
dude.
Like,
Okay, I'm just being
that's
clear.
custom, dude. That's a custom job. Like,
like
you don't.
you don't. That's like a battle trophy, man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, I'll buy it.
You just took on one of the most powerful fucking bounty hunters in the universe, and you lived, and that's the dent he put
All
in.
right, I'll
you
go
keep
for it.
that fucking
I'll
shit,
go-
dude.
I'll go.
Chris
with
has
that.
never watched. He doesn't know who Cad Bane is. He's
I don't
missing
know
the
anything about
awesomeness
that.
of Cad Bane. So
He's also never watched like a western or like
Oh Jesus!
anything with any amount of testosterone in
no,
it.
it's
Give me a
got to be a
break.
CW
I've watched
show
basketball.
About you watch basketball? Is that what you say?
He likes to watch fucking like
Oh, come on
movies
now.
of fucking English guys in the 17th century talking about their fucking feelings.
No, I don't know of any movies like that I like.
I like to
big
watch.
fan of Pride and Prejudice.
I'm
and,
not a
Sense
fan
and
of those.
Sensibility.
I hate
I like
those.
to watch black and white French interpretive movies.
Like the nudity's really classy in those older ones. So
They got a lot of bush too, a lot of big bush.
I came across an article. It was probably about a year ago when they have the Criterion Collection on Hulu, and so it was essentially it's like the 10 best Criterion movies to watch that with nudity on Hulu, and I was like, okay, like that's a weird article, and so I was like, what the hell? Why? It's like 1 a.m. I'm doing nothing, so I turn on this French movie, like literally, and I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? At a certain point, I'm all, I don't know what's happening. This is really weird. I'm intrigued by it enough to still be watching it, but yeah, so very, very sort of like softcore torture porn, but done in France. So
Yeah.
Definitely check that out when you get a moment.
softcore torture porn done in France.
No, the fucking between Cad Bane and fucking Boba.
Yes, I will.
Because you also find out where Boba gets his blaster,
nice.
and yeah, it's pretty cool. And because his armor has been developing over the years, little bits and pieces have started to kind of come into place,
Right.
with him, and now he's like full blown Boba.
Nice.
Now this is it's not quite finished footage, but it's enough.
I'm very curious first off, we know why they canceled Clone Wars, but why wouldn't they just let him finish that season before they moved on to Rebels? You know what I mean?
You know, the only thing I could think of is, like I said, they were fucking. Let's see if we want to keep some of these characters. I just think that they were like, we're going to stop production on everything until we can get a handle on it.
Well, and then also, like, we're canceling Rebels now after 4 seasons. Like, I just, that seems weird to me as well. Like, that narrative could have gone on forever, essentially.
I think that they're going to continue on with more animated stuff.
Do you think they're going to do that same Clone Wars style? And
God,
move on
I hope
to,
so.
Like, because I really like the Dave Filoni sort of universe,
yeah.
you know?
I think they were also kicking around the idea of another Star Wars live-action show and being directed by Dave Filoni.
Ooh, I'd watch that.
I think there was talk about that at Celebration.
I would definitely watch that. Now, I'm curious, do you think that the next animated show might grab you after Return of the Jedi and be essentially about the people we love?
You know, or
that would seem like a good place to go.
And look at the span of time we have between Return of the Jedi and
Force Awakens.
While.
It's the same
30
amount of
years.
Yeah, you got almost as much time as you had between the Clone Wars and like you could do 7 seasons of that.
Oh no, between the Clone Wars
was 18. Yeah. Between
episode
3 and 4.
between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
You've got 18 years there, and you've basically got 30
so
after Jedi.
I mean, you got a lot of like what's been going on.
Yeah.
You know, and we're seeing the return of the Thrawn character. Everybody's real hot about.
I think it'd be interesting for them to go back and do sort of like the Heir to the Empire books. You know, the Thrawn trilogy. Like, why don't you like turn that into an animated series? I've always thought that would make a great animated series because you're never going to be able to recapture Luke and Leia and them as young people, but you could do a great telling of that story in animated form.
Right.
You know. And it would be a very interesting what happened after, you know, essentially after Aftermath, which are those 3 books, you know, that they put out. You could, I mean, and even those are only basically a year after or 2 years after.
I think
Jedi.
they've got a lot of room to work with. You know?
It's so funny because even though I'm not as pumped I'm not as giddy about The Last Jedi as I was about Force Awakens. I'll probably end up liking the movie more.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's like. It's like even though we are in a Star Wars saturation, you know, I'm curious how long they're going to keep this going for, and not only that, are we just going to get sick of it?
I think they're going to keep it going as long as they got money making. I mean, look, dude, Disney has invested a lot of fucking money in this goddamn franchise.
They got to make it back.
I mean, look at you're doing 2 theme parks. You're doing Orlando and California.
And did you hear about this Millennium Falcon ride? They talked about it at Celebration.
You know what? I did not. I the only thing I read of was that, like, doing certain things are going to completely change the way you experience the theme park.
Right. Which is crazy. Like, it will remember shit you do throughout the day.
Wow.
And so, like, if you go on the Millennium Falcon ride, from what I understand, looks like a 4-person ride. So it's like 4 of us get on to whatever like cockpit area we're getting onto, and then we all do different things on the ship.
Really?
Yes. And so the things we do dictates how the ride goes for each of us. So like
that's dope.
So it's like Star Tours, except you're interactive essentially.
And I can't go on it
Why not?
because it's another one of those movie motion bullshit rides.
Yeah, but I don't think it's 3D.
It doesn't matter.
Dude, take some Dramamine,
It don't
sack
matter,
the fuck
dude.
up, and
It
go
don't
on the
matter.
Millennium Falcon ride.
It don't matter. I end up sick anyway.
Fucking be rolling around on fucking It's a Small World the whole time.
Oh.
I'll go with you, Ron.
He's gonna be like the fucking guy
you know
in
what?
the wheelchair.
I
like,
gotta
"No!"
go once, but I'll be puking right after. Just
It's like, dude, I can't wait. Like I'm
I'm
in.
I'm gonna go on everything just so I can see it.
Dude,
So-
that Star Wars land's gonna be jam packed.
I mean, look,
yeah.
dude.
year it opens.
Look, they're selling this franchise as a new thing to our children.
Yeah, right.
You know, I mean,
This ain't for us.
they're as cracked out onto this as we were at that age.
Well,
and
let's
shit,
take a
you know?
moment and think about this. 2019 is only 2 years away. That's
Hell,
20th
man.
anniversary of fucking Phantom Menace.
Look, dude, we're blazing through this year. We're
Yeah.
gonna be at 2019 like nothing, man.
Well, it's weird because it's like you're starting to see like a bunch of prequel nostalgia Like, and so it's like people like you, like Chris, who I'm pointing at. Thank you, radio. People like Chris who are all bitter about the prequels and hate them with the passion. Like, now the younger people that are coming up are like, no, man, I love the prequels, you know? And so much so that, like, the kid that's the new Spider-Man has never seen The Empire Strikes Back. So when he said that line, had never fucking seen The Empire Strikes Back at 17, but had seen all the prequels and loves them.
You know what's really crazy is when I hear somebody that's my age that says, I've never seen Star Wars. I'm like, what fucking, where are you from?
Right.
Been under a rock.
How is that possible?
So, but yeah, man. So Celebration, I think a lot of interesting information came out of there. The I don't even know if you can still find the videos online. I assume they're still there. But the Celebration of Star Wars one, where they brought out Harrison and essentially like Mark was there, and like they, you know, Hayden Christensen was there.
Oh Jesus!
Ian McDermott was there. Like, it was great. Like, it was a great moment, you know. So, and Hayden's still young enough. They should bring him back and have him do some stuff, man.
No.
I'm in.
No. My God. Shoo me.
Love how bitter Chris is all the time.
I hate that dude. He
You know, I
ruined the
gotta
movies.
ask, what's going on with this whole fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi fucking look going on over here, man? Huh?
It's hot. Whatever, Rob Zombie.
Sorry, I still look like a square. I can't help it.
You know, I honestly, the hair's growing out, but I'm at that stage where the stuff on the side isn't quite long enough to pull back, so it pops out.
You know why, right? Because he's going as Jesus of The Walking Dead for fucking Halloween.
Yeah.
That's why he's doing this right now. Like, that's been his plan since last Halloween.
Oh, I ain't playing around.
Are you gonna have a boyfriend?
I might.
I don't think
Depends on how like deep I want to go in the character.
Well,
You gotta go deep. How many people out there were like, did he just say what I think he said?
Wait,
I don't want to end up in the emergency
Wait,
room.
did you just slip that past me?
or in me? What? All right. So let's transition. We got a lot to talk about that we still haven't got to yet. Oh, but I did forget one last thing from our many. And Steve, you will absolutely love this. So there are many like WonderCon or going to any convention. It's like different being a boothie as opposed to being
An attendee.
So when you're a boothie, you get to meet all the wonderful people of the world. All the wonderful people of the world. So we met. We're selling Grace, and we met. You remember the movie PCU? Like the girl that's like meat tosser. So
yes.
Totally,
Oh Jesus! I know what you're talking about.
we totally met the meat tosser girl from PCU. So this girl comes up, and Darian's, because we got a big booth, so we're like all pitching from different areas. And so Darian starts pitching at this girl and her boyfriend. And this woman, she's like probably in maybe early 20s, late teens, right? 19 to 23 range. And she's like asking about the book, totally interested. Ooh, strong female character. And she asked Darian, she's like, "Did you write it?" And she goes, "Oh, no, my dad, my stepdad, and one of his friends write it."
You mean a man?
Yes.
Right.
Literally goes, "Oh, a man wrote this? I'm not interested." And like turns around and walks away. And I'm like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry. What? And so I go, I have to know. Like, I absolutely have to know. Like, what is your issue with a man writing a book about a strong female lead?" And she's just like, "Well, I want to support female artists." And I'm like, "That's great. I think your dollar should go to whatever the fuck it is you think that's great. But more specifically, why couldn't a man write a book about a woman?" And she was like, literally, like, could not come up with a good fucking answer for me. And like, I was so goddamn livid at this point. Because I'm like, first off, like, we're the ones that are putting out this book. Like, not anybody else. There's no woman sitting. The woman that's sitting 2 rows down from us is doing Japanese animation shit over there that like is aimed at 12-year-olds, and we're writing a book about an interesting woman character. And you, like, you're the fucking problem. You're not the solution.
Right.
Like, you're the one that's like, "Well, I really want to read like real female characters," But meanwhile, you're dressed in your fucking low-cut hooker top, and you're the one that's complaining about a man writing this fucking book over here. Like, dude. It was one of those moments where it was just like, it was all I could do to not reach across the table and, as an equal gender, punch her in the goddamn face. Like,
And if anybody ever wonders why, like, I don't really want to sit at the booth or anything because of shit like that. Like,
It was
those are the
crazy.
people-
And I missed all
like,
but
'cause
the
you
very
guys,
end of this.
You guys know me. Like, that shit makes me fucking crazy.
Ask Chris. I was hot for
Oh,
hours.
it
yeah,
was
dude,
wild.
for
It was
sure.
wild.
Hours
And then
afterwards.
it rubbed off because I was fucking pissed at that
You know?
point because of our conversation.
I
if
mean-
you don't like the stuff that's out there, write your own was the mandate that I got from this room. So we did it.
Right.
And then she shits on it without even really looking at it.
You know, like
know?
that would be like me going, "Oh, I can't read this Conan comic because this particular issue was written by a woman."
Right.
It's still a good comic.
And so at a certain point, like I'm sitting there and I look at him, I'm like, man, we are both married, and like all three of us are married to very strong,
Very strong.
very proud women. Like there is no question. But I mean, there's nobody in this room that's whipped, but none of our women are anything less than like a fucking warrior woman.
Absolutely,
You
dude.
know? And it's like, it's like one of those things for me where I'm like, and that doesn't. I'm not intimidated by that in the least. It makes me
No.
feel more fucking manly that
Yeah.
my absolutely beautiful, unbelievably well-educated wife, you know, would support me in doing these things. And she thinks the book's brilliant. And I even went home and was like, hey, baby, like this woman told me this. And she's all, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
She literally was like, that's not
I
feminism.
think they
that's
call
just
that.
stupidity.
But see, I think they call that third wave feminism.
I don't give a fuck.
No.
Whatever the fuck it is,
Stupidity.
dude.
That's
And
I
it's-
get where she's trying to come from, but it was so goddamn misguided.
It's completely misguided.
Look,
dude.
I have a
it's
friend of
completely
mine that's
misguided.
writing a book right now about a young Hispanic girl that becomes a superhero. It's called Quince. So they're doing digital and then they're going to go to press. Very interesting take on sort of the superhero, you know, done from a Hispanic standpoint. This woman is neither Hispanic, you know, nor a superhero, but she can write this book that's very entertaining, you know. And it's one of these things where it's like it would be like me, like my wife as a Hispanic person going up and going like, you couldn't possibly understand what it means to be Mexican,
Right.
you know. It's like but it's so like short-sighted and dumb.
Listen.
Then wait. Then followed by the guy. Not an hour later, who we're pitching to, and walks by, and I'm telling him about the book, and he goes, "Is this based on like religion?" And you know, we have tropes, like we're playing on those ideas, you know, those reoccurring themes, and we're doing it in a way that's going to end up being more clever than people are ready for how it's going to be. But we don't want to give that away. So Chris and I literally go, "Well," and he's like, "I'm not interested in your religion, man." Like storms off.
and you like the posters.
There's blood everywhere.
Blood
in every
everywhere.
fucking book, and it's like I'm like literally we're showing like the last page of the third issue is Grace smashing a dude's head in with a goddamn propane tank, and like that's the piece of artwork we're like showing off to people.
Right.
And he's like, "Is this a religious book?" We're like, "Are you a fucking idiot?" Like,
Fucking
just
tell
just
you,
walked
dude.
away, hand up and walked away. No, I'm not into that religious stuff.
it was like
Fucking nuts,
what is-
man.
It was. I thought it was bad at the last convention when we have Speedo Dude come up with his ball
Right,
sack like
right.
right on the table.
The ball sack on the table was a
I'm
lot.
so not gonna sit at that fucking booth with you guys ever. I swear to God, fuck that shit.
But
Ah.
those were the two definite highlights of the weekend as
Yeah.
far as goddamn. Oh, and then me yelling at the parking lady. That
Holy
was-
shit.
Like I couldn't.
Now,
Would she
I
not
yelled
take
out
your
the
legal
window.
tender?
No.
This is
No.
legal tender, madam.
No,
My
she
fucking
was,
sack full of
we were-
dimes and nickels. Take it now. This is America. This is still good money. Anyways, I'm sorry. Come on.
Steve has literally seen me do that and say those exact words.
Absolutely, dude. I was fucking dying. Holy, I'm in the backseat just laughing my fucking ass off. You better take that change, lady. He ain't fucking with you.
I remember that lady was like, "I ain't taking that." I'm all, "You are taking this because this is still the United States and this is still legal tender in the United States." She's like, "Well, I'm gonna have to count it," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna have to wait while you count it."
I have been saving these nickels and dimes all year for this day. God damn it, you'll take this money.
Jesus Christ, dude, that's when parking was only $15.
Right.
Right, it's 40 now, and you're like, "Oh,
That's
jeez."
crazy.
the day will
man.
be over by the time they count.
I lucked out. Monsterpalooza, $9 a day.
Oh, nice, dude. We
Right?
had great parking for Wondercon as well.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
We found like they changed the parking situation, so we were able to park in the back.
Okay.
And it's like we pulled right in the first day, and it was like we were like walking distance to the.
Oh, all right.
We didn't have to go on the tram to goddamn Ducksville out in over near Angel Stadium there.
Oh, yeah, that
But-
sucks.
Yeah, tell me about it. But no, so we're pulling in, and the last day on Sunday, like everybody's coming to load out. you know. And so we got there early because we wanted to get good parking. And we pull up and we're like, well, we need to load out. And we had parked in the garage the day before and up top the day before that. And they're like, no. And when we got there later, we understood because all of the like U-Haul trucks were on the top. And then this side was full. But we asked the guy and he's like, yeah, it'll be fine. Just ask the guy. So we pull up to the first fucking guy and we're like, yeah, we need to load out later. Can we park over here? And the guy's like, doesn't say anything, just does this. We're like, no, hey man, we need to load out. And he's all just shaking his head, waving the finger, like pointing us in the other direction. So we got no information from this guy.
Right.
So they send us over to like this parking garage, which is still in the same complex, but it's like, it's a ways. And I'm like, so we're pull up to the first guy and we're like, it's like a guy in an Ace security thing. And we roll down the window. We're like, hey, we just want to know, are we going to be able to come back this way to load out later? Otherwise, we really shouldn't be parking over here. So while we're asking this very nice, large Samoan gentleman this question, this 5'2" Hispanic lady starts screeching at us. Not like, please move along.
No, I was like, go!
Like as though we were in the goddamn Marines or a militia of some sort. You need to pull forward now!
Holy shit.
We were like,
it was crazy.
Dude, she was like losing her mind. And we're like, whoa, like calm down. She don't tell me to calm down. Like, and we were like, and okay,
so as we're driving by, I throw some profanity at her, but I'm not stopping to engage with this lady. I'm just like, hey, fucking calm down, asshole, you know.
So we're walking back up after we park on like the 6th level.
He's gonna fucking shank you.
Dude, I was like, I walked up to the guy, the small guy, and I was like, hey man, thanks for attempting to answer my question before this crazy fucking Nazi over here decided to start yelling at us. And she overhears me and she's like, I wasn't yelling, I was telling you. And I'm all, whoa, first off, you need to find some happiness and kindness in your life.
You need some joy, ma'am.
You need some joy, ma'am, because you got some issues. And she was like, I don't have issues. You're holding up traffic. I'm all, there was nobody behind us when we were like, there was nobody. And then she was like, and so she like started walking towards us, like yelling. And at that point, like my top blew, dude. And I was like, you know what? You need to like find a nice tone in your voice. You can't always sound like this all the time yelling at people. Like, sorry, listeners at home.
No, it's within range.
But
yeah, oh dude, it was so funny. I was like, oh Jesus, here we go.
And everybody was walking up behind us starts cracking up because they're all, that lady's a bitch. She yelled at us awful. Too. It was like one of those moments where you're just like, and you know how I feel about this. Like, I don't have a problem with people being parking attendants and telling us where to park, but there's this weird phenomenon that occurs when you give these little people a little power, and all of a sudden they want to wield it as though they're...
I'm going to flex this shit all over you.
Right. They're like fucking Thor wielding Mjolnir, you know, like hitting me over the head with it. And I'm like, you're a goddamn parking attendant, you know?
Right.
Like, show me where to park and shut up, you know? But, yeah, man, like, it was...
and Darian was like, oh my God, what's he doing?
I kind of freaked Darian out.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then she was like, are you all right? Are you right? And I'm like, Darian, I go, people don't have a right to yell at you in life just because they have this much power. I'm like, it's like the dudes that do the check like in the old days with your badges. Like the new little like ring-in system, they don't give you a hard time at all, man.
Yeah.
I could smuggle in like 50 pounds of coke in my anus, and they would never know.
As long as that shit beeps.
As long as it beeps, they don't give a shit. Like, enjoy, right? In the old days, it was like, flip your badge around. Get over here. Do this. Spread your legs.
Oh,
you know?
Shit. Yeah.
And it was like...
so bad.
No problems. Everybody was super chill. But it's like, I have that issue with fucking people that are like on my tip about shit like that. It just like, life's too short for me to have to endure that, you know?
Like, know your role, parking attendant.
She was crazy, dude.
And you know what?
When I yell at somebody, you know that person's crazy.
I
Because
got
usually I'm
nothing
just
but
like,
respect for those people. Nothing.
Yeah.
So I figured you'd appreciate that segue.
oh,
awesome.
that was so
My
funny.
little bit of a rant.
Hey.
All right, so let's do this. Let's put a pin in this one. Let's wrap this issue or episode up, and we'll come back and maybe look at another one here. So I hope you guys have all enjoyed this episode, our sort of con recap, as it were, and we're glad to be back. So once again, I am Indian name yells at parking attendant.
I am Steve Squatto.
I don't go to Wondercon anymore.
And we hope you guys are having a Nerdlife Crisis. Music for the Nerdlife Crisis podcast is provided by Big Papa and the TCB. All music available at bptcb.com or at iTunes. The Nerdlife Crisis is recorded at the Inland Blue Studios. Make sure to subscribe to the Nerdlife Crisis at iTunes and like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram or Twitter at Nerdlife Crisis.